adjustment here. There we go. And we're back.
Yeah, back one more again for another episode, another riveting episode of Soundcheck with Pathos and Logos. I am William H. Macy. He is...
Kevin Bacon.
Kevin Bacon. Yep. I was going to say Mickey Rourke.
Mickey Rourke? No, Mickey Rourke's face is all fucked up.
I know the name. I don't know what Mickey Rourke looks like.
You don't know what Mickey Rourke looks like?
I mean, like, I'm sure that I have probably seen him before, but I have no overt mental or emotional connection between the face of Mickey Rourke and his name. I just know he's an actor.
Well, I'll throw it to you this way. So Mickey Rourke has, like, the Michael Jackson effect, where he started in on facial reconstruction, whatever, and then just... didn't know when to stop. Dude. So he's currently in his cougar mauled my face phase right now.
Got you.
Or era
got you.
Of life.
Okay.
Yeah, really.
So I'm sorry, and I apologize for that. So why don't we open the show today with I apologize because I knew not whereof I spoke.
I'm gonna stick with Kevin Bacon. I'm gonna go with Tremors era Kevin Bacon.
Who is mad at that Kevin Bacon?
That's who I am today.
That's who you are today.
Yeah, and I mean that's like that will be my New Year's resolution. I will be Kevin Bacon for all of 2026.
I don't think I've ever heard of a more noble endeavor than that.
What's up?
That's just what you should be doing.
Casting. Let's do it.
Kevin Bacon, actor Sosie Bacon's dad, Sosie Bacon, who was the main character in the movie Smile.
Oh.
Yeah, that was Kevin Bacon's kid, dude.
Striking similarity. That does make sense.
Yeah,
I didn't really put that together until you said that. Right?
Yeah, Sosie Bacon is Kevin Bacon's kid, dude.
Boy, that's quite the name, Sosie Bacon.
Sosie Bacon.
It's not that far off from Salty Bacon.
Not that far, although on a molecular and cellular level, there is a very dramatic difference between Salty Bacon and Sosie Bacon. One of them is a foodstuff, and the other one is a human woman who is an actor.
Thank you for explaining that. All of the facial reconstruction surgery has also affected my brain.
Well, it's the unfortunate reality about Mickey Rourke's facial reconstruction stuff is that it was mostly made apparently out of salty bacon. So
just laid on his face.
Yeah.
And then crudely stitched together.
Carelessly woven together.
Well, that's
what the fuck are we talking?
I don't know, right? Yeah, we're getting ready for the new year. This is the New Year episode. Right. So happy New Year to everybody. One night in advance.
That's
Unfortunately, we will not be with you this evening for the ball drop because we will be fucking partying.
Yeah. We're going to be partying more than a little bit. More than just a little.
More than just a little bit. So I guess I should ask you, do you have any like a New Year's resolution for this year? Is there anything that you're looking to do for 2026?
The New Year's resolution that I have for 2026 is related to what I've been doing recently, which is I want to get better at blast beats. Because I am practicing blast beats right now, Kyle, and I've got news for you, buddy. I'm not good at them. I'm not good. The architecture of the pattern, the fact that it is based upon the single stroke roll played as time. It's not like it's a beat where like one limb is going at a certain time and then other ones are happening intermittently. So that's not an exaggeration. That's how it's played. And I don't have a bad single stroke roll, but it's very, very different when you are using that technique as the fundamental firmament or architecture of the timing of the song.
Yes.
You have to do it for so long, dude.
Yes, you do.
So my New Year's resolution is get a little better at blast beats. What about you, buddy? What are you doing?
Boy, I asked you that question, and I wasn't ready for you to ask me that question. This is great. Okay, yeah, New Year's resolution for 2026. You know what I would like to do for this year? It's been a couple years since I've made new guitar profiles to take out on the road.
Ooh.
So this year, I would like to update my guitar profiles.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah, I feel like that's an attainable goal.
What would you do differently? Because if I understand correctly, now don't let me put words in your mouth now, but if I understand correctly, your Kemper right now has the profile of your 5150.
The 5153.
5153.
Stealth. Ooh. You gotta say stealth.
Stealth.
Yeah, you have to say it a specific way.
That's
You're like,
right.
stealth! People get a little weird about it.
People
So you go,
won't even understand what you're saying.
They won't. They'll just run away from you. So
That's
you say stealth. And now they're drawn into you, and they're like, tell me about what it is.
That's right. That's right.
Yep, and then you just start saying dumb stuff about dying fetus to them. And they walk away from you again. But no, anyway, yeah, exactly. Don't talk about dying fetus at the airport.
Well, that makes me think about when we were in the airport in Grand Rapids, when we weren't talking about dying fetus, but if you recall correctly, there was a very awkward, weird old man who was talking to us about prison rape.
Oh, my God.
Uh-huh. You haven't thought about that one for a while because you very justifiably have pushed that one to the back of your consciousness.
I had to almost slap that guy.
I did forcibly, awkwardly, at elevated vocal volume, assure him that I am sure he was a very nice man, but we're just trying to do our vodka sodas and wait to fly here, buddy.
We're just a couple dudes in a band.
We're just a couple of dudes in a band.
Yeah.
And you're talking about being violated in prison. So we are off to a very strong start. We have covered being confused about the difference between saucy bacon, salty bacon, and Mickey Rourke's face. We have talked about sexual violation in a carceral setting. And now it's... And with that said, it's time to bring on our guest.
Yes. Oh, what a fantastic introduction. This is why we're going far, folks. Yeah, it is. It's time to bring on our guest.
Do you want to introduce our illustrious guest today, Kyle?
I'll go ahead and take that honor. Okay, today, joining us on Soundcheck with Pathos and Logos is the illustrious, the beautiful, the very tall Cierra White.
Ask us how we are. I think it would be far more appropriate to ask how you are, not just because that's customary on the show, but because you did 3 European tours.
Indeed.
And you have been back from the last one for 5 days?
5 days.
Tight, sick,
Yes.
cool.
Yes.
So naturally, anybody who understands about anything about tours, particularly when you have no off days, knows that obviously you feel amazing right now. You're ready to run a marathon.
Indeed. Yes, could run a marathon. Mm-hmm.
That's right. That's right. First off, just how are you generally speaking?
Generally speaking, I'm okay. Today being the 5th day since I've been home, I'm like, this is probably the best day yet.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Great.
Kind of fully back on mountain time. Got everything from tour cleaned up, merch and instruments and, my room, like my laundry's done now.
Right.
So
Literally cleaning house.
feeling like a human being again. So
There you go.
Yeah, it's
Settled
been good.
back into the more traditional routine.
Indeed.
Is there any better feeling than getting home and having the first shower?
Oh my God.
Back in your
I took a shower and then I took a bath.
Yes, you did.
You know what I mean?
You're
Like-
damn right.
I did like a 45-minute shower and then an hour-long bath.
Fucking the bubbles, candles,
Yes, uh-huh.
treating oneself, dude.
Yeah, it was-
Careless
it was
whispers
it
on in
was-
the background.
Yes.
It's like, this is self-care
Dude.
day.
Oh my God. Yeah, it was incredible.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So then the 3 tours, who am I forgetting? You're playing for Emasculator.
Mm-hmm.
You're playing for Hogash and Thorn.
Uh-huh.
What was the 3rd tour?
Emasculator went to Europe twice.
Went
Okay.
pulling the old 2 times.
And I will say the second tour, it wasn't much of a tour. We did 2 festivals, 3 shows,
Yes.
a week apart. So we were still over there for, 7 days or whatever it was. But we did Move Your Fucking Brain Fest in Barcelona, Spain, and then had a week to just explore Prague.
Oh, that's amazing.
And then that following weekend, we did Obscene Extreme, and then we did the after party of Obscene Extreme as well.
Fucking, that's
The
awesome.
next night. So we played Saturday at Obscene, and then I think it was the next night we did the after party and then came home. So
I have to admit, I personally have been very excited, just in a general way, to have you on the show because you're awesome. Like, let's have fucking Cierra on the show.
Oh, thanks, Dan.
But the fact that you are so freshly off of these tours where you went over the pond.
Yeah.
I used to play for a band. They were at the time on Nuclear Blast Records.
Yes.
Called Swashbuckle.
That's right.
And we went for the Heidenfest tour in 2010. And I was over the pond for 24 days. I don't remember whether or not there were any days off. I don't think there were. But there were. It was the only time in my life, at least so far, where we had techs. So I got to wander around. I got to like see the Brandenburg Gate.
Yes.
You're fucking around the Eiffel Tower. You got to actually see things.
Right.
So these are the things that immediately come to my mind, because that one tour that I did, I was very fortunate. I was on a bus. We were sharing a bus with Ensiferum, actually.
Oh my God!
Shout to Ensiferum.
Stop it.
We were on.
They were just here.
They were
Did
too.
you go?
I didn't go, but Justin from Swashbuckle
Was there.
sent
Really?
me a photograph from when they played in New York.
Yeah.
Oh my
and
God.
he's all like, "The boys were asking about you, man."
Yo, that's incredible.
It was sick.
So I missed them here, and then Rhea from Emasculator, because they're with Blind Guardian right now, right? Like that's the tour.
I
Emasculator
think
and
so.
Blind Guardian?
I think that's right.
They were just recently in Denver. Rhea from Emasculator and Cartilage, just last night, her and her brother went and saw them in California.
Oh, fuck.
And I'm just like, God damn it, I miss it.
but then like the reason why is because you're recovering
Right,
from
I mean, the
having
reason
been
why
on
it's
a
cool.
tour. Is,
Right, it's a
like
little
it's
bit-
at least a little tight,
Yeah,
dude.
yeah,
A
yeah,
little cool.
for sure. Not
But
the worst problem to have.
first thing that I want to ask about Cierra, about these tours over the pond, what was travel like? Were you on a bus for any of them? Were you driving? Did you have to contend with the like driving on the opposite side of the street thing?
So no, to that last question, the Emasculator tour in May, we were in vans.
Okay.
There were 3 bands split between 2 vans, and each van had its own driver.
Okay.
And we drove during the day, and we had accommodations at night. So we were moving in and out of a hotel, a Airbnb, a promoter's house, a friend's house every night.
Okay.
Whereas on the Oat tour, we were on a bus with the 2 other bands, the sound engineer, the merch girl, and the driver. So that was 18 people on one bus.
Holy shit.
But we were sleeping on the bus and driving at night. Yeah. So it was very different in terms of being awake for the drives and not having to move into a new house every single night.
Right.
Which, on paper sounds like you would have a lot more energy for exploring and playing the show and doing other things, but for some reason we came out just as exhausted or I shouldn't say we because different bands, but I came out just as exhausted off the bus tour as I did on the van tour. Neither of which I was driving, but still just different kind of grind.
Yeah.
But still a grind,
Well, and the also, I think it's worthy of examination that playing music like with Oak Ash and Thorn and Emasculator, it's not like playing hot cross buns.
Right.
You're working, buddy.
Yeah.
And so that makes perfect sense to me that you just, whether you're on the bus or you're like crashing on somebody's couch or something, particularly if you don't have days off,
right.
you're spending that entire time recovering. I worked for Matt Byrne from Hatebreed on the 07 Ozfest tour.
Oh, sick. Dude.
I was on the road with them, and we were on the bus for 2 months. They would do the off dates with Behemoth and Lamb of God, actually, because there were some of the little spaces in between the Ozfest dates.
Oh, how
and
incredible, dude!
Matty Byrne would go out there, crush it. And, like, he wasn't, like, partying in some crazy way, like have a couple of beers or something like that.
Sure.
But then my man would crash on the bus, and you would not see him until it was time to come out and headline the second stage for Ozfest, dude.
Wow.
So I'm like, and he never had a drive. They
Right.
had a driver the whole time. He had probably what you would hope for or think of as the most optimal circumstances. Shout to Matt Byrne.
Hey.
What's up?
The most optimal circumstances for the travel, but it's just such physical music. It's like going to the gym for however long your fucking set is,
Right.
and then you gotta regenerate.
Right.
Like, what else would you call it?
And that's exactly what
Regeneration,
it is.
yeah.
Yeah. So,
And I mean, it's funny because like there seems to be like two schools of thought when it comes to that, and it's either you do that or you don't.
Or you just do the exact opposite, like
You
stay
do
up.
everything that you are supposed to not do, which is what I did. So I will say, I wish, like looking back now, there were definitely a few more nights where I could have gone to bed immediately, had a few more water nights and less beer nights. You know what I mean? It would have.
but come on,
I would have felt better.
dude,
But you know,
like-
first bus tour, I was like, I want to fucking go hard.
Yeah,
And
why not?
that is what I did. And I will say, like, there were only 2 mornings that were real bad.
Yeah.
Everything else is pretty manageable, you know? So it was cool. Being down at sea level, you know?
Right.
The alcohol doesn't do as much when you're down there.
Oh yeah.
So it's very capable.
Yeah.
Very easy to just, you know.
Yeah, being musicians that live in Colorado is tough.
And it's funny because, like, I don't even want to drink here. Because I know I'm on, like, I don't know, that like 5 beer a day thing
Yeah.
right now, and I couldn't do that here. There's absolutely no
not
way.
gonna happen.
I haven't had a drop of beer since I've been back because I know I'm gonna have half of an IPA and be done. You know what I mean? So like,
right.
yeah.
But yeah, no, dude, it's you can. We've lived in Colorado now for years. You're
Yeah.
here your whole life. You could fucking chug a half a bottle of Jack, hold your breath, and sprint at sea level.
It's true. It's so
It's
true.
insane.
Yeah. Yeah,
Insane.
the last time that we were in Jersey for shows back in the day, there was like an after party, right? And I remember I was determined. I'm like, I'm going to get drunk tonight. And I had 11 shots of vodka.
Swear to God.
And I could have, I'm not going to say we did this, but I could have driven us anywhere I wanted to. I was perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Right.
It's
Perfectly fine.
Right.
What sucks is that the next day, you still have the
You're
like
still hungover.
you're
Yeah,
still
yeah.
hungover because
but like, with
you-
no headache, I don't know. It's very odd.
very strange.
It's very odd.
Super weird.
No, and dude, I think that the life of like Kyle and I tour, but we do it in a kind of a more discreet We do it in a back to work on Monday type way.
Totally.
Weekend Warriors.
The Weekend
Yeah,
Warriors,
Weekend
but you play in New York, you play in South Carolina, wherever it may be. But that kind of like contiguous day after day, the days are like blending into one another. You like if it's your like inaugural thing, dude, like you like have to go hard,
Yeah.
and you get to experience things that. Just such a very narrow fraction of the population gets to experience. 2 of my favorite memories, and I say this because I want you to give whatever you got, buddy, but
Hell
2
yeah.
of my favorite memories actually involve Randy from Lamb of God.
God.
Because he's pretty good friends with Jamie Jost and the Hatebreed guys. Lord, I hope I'm not. I don't know whether he's sober now. I know that the man has wrestled with alcohol consumption. Randy has,
Yeah. I believe he still is.
Okay.
yeah.
Well, he maybe he was just a little backslidden because
Yeah.
your boy. On one night in particular, came and stayed on Hatebreed's bus, and it was me and Randy hanging out, dude, just BSing. And he divulges to me that as a child, as a teenager, he spent several summers in Jamaica. And yes, that's right. He spent 2 or 3 summers in Jamaica, and then Randall Blythe goes into a perfect Jamaican patois. And I was
Really?
like, are you fucking kidding me? And then one of the Ozfest dates, I'll never forget this as long as I live, we were packing everything back up in the back of the trailer. The gig was done. And Randy had finished Lamb of God's set on the main stage because they were main stage. Hatebreed on the Ozfest tour in 07. Hatebreed was headlining second stage, and then Lamb of God was playing the main stage with
Yeah.
Ozzy. They opened up the main stage, and Randy comes back. We open up the back of the trailer, gets out a little portable
A grill.
Kyle, you saw me struggling. I couldn't think of the word grill. Couldn't find grill, but this little portable grill that we bought, and Randy Blythe from Lamb of God cooked everybody brats.
That's fucking incredible.
So shit like that happens.
I'm sorry. Did you say 07?
That's 07, yeah.
Oh shit. Me and Paige were there.
No
Along
fucking
with
way.
like all of our friends. Yeah, that was Free Fest.
That I had. Where was it at? Where was the venue?
Oh, God.
It wasn't Red Rocks, was it?
No, it was Fiddler's Green.
Okay.
Wait a minute. It had to be Fiddler's Green. No, it wasn't.
Shout to Paige, dude.
What's up, Paige?
Paige was good, baby.
True.
Yo,
Yeah.
Oh my God, was it Fiddler's? I don't know. Outdoor amphitheater. Like I don't know. I just remember because Static X was there too, right?
Yes.
And Lordy. And
Fucking Lordy,
and
dude.
Zach
Wow.
Wild was playing for Ozzy because I remember we met Lamb of God. We did their meet and greet. And I was like, I can die now. Like that's fine. You know, I met my fucking one of my favorite bands of all time. Like that's it. We're done here. I'd like 15 years old. And I remember Paige needed like 10 more bucks to go meet Zach Wild or something.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, here's 10 more bucks. Go meet Zach Wild. So she went and met Zach Wild. And then I don't know if he was there because Black Label Society wasn't there, right? It was like just Zach doing a thing.
Yeah, I don't
feel
think
like,
it wasn't
okay.
BLS.
So yeah, she goes and meets Zach, and then we're doing the side stages and the whatevers, and then I remember we got into our seats for main stage and we watched Lordy, and we were like, okay, this is kind of cool. And right before Static X, like a literal turf war broke out between the people in the grass and the people in the first few rows of seats right below the grass.
Right.
People in the grass were literally pulling up turf. And
throwing it
down at the people in the stands.
I
And then
remember
some
this.
bits, and that's like dangerous because turf, that'll knock you out.
Oh, sure, dude.
But then like people in the stands started throwing their bottles at them and started throwing baskets of food. And I just turned around and it was just like a war zone of turf and everything else.
Actual turf.
Actual turf. Like big fucking chunks of grass and dirt
that's insane,
just
dude.
coming down.
Wowie zowie.
May not have thrown a bottle myself.
It's funny to think that Paul was probably within 150 yards of you.
So
at some
that
point in time.
it's crazy to think
Really?
about. If Hatebreed played that show, I was working.
Yeah.
I was working that show, dude.
incredible.
I was on the side of the stage. Matt Byrne was yelling at me because I had forgotten to plug in his snare mic. No, Sean Martin.
There you go.
Who was playing guitar at that time for Hatebreed? Paul, do your job. Yes, sir.
Oh man.
Please, do not want you to ever raise your voice at me again, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, fucking wild. So you just really that was sort of a dramatic preamble to. Surely there have to be like highlights like that from the 3 European tours
Yeah.
that you have done this year.
Yeah,
Oh,
what
man.
comes to mind right off the top?
Nothing because I drank 40 beers every day is what
Well,
Sierra says.
It's all quite fuzzy for sure. But I think the first thing that comes to mind is spending time with Yoth Iria's vocalist on this last run.
God.
His name is Orestes, and if there were ever a Greek Dracula, it would be him.
Ooh, shout to
And-
Greek Dracula,
And,
baby.
dude, he just the most like interesting dude I've ever met in my life.
That's awesome.
And just like on being on tour with a group of Greeks in general, like Yothir is from Greece, those guys were they are so different from us, like Americans, in that I don't know, the way that they like deliver information to you is so heartfelt. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. If they say cheers to you, so yamas is the Greek word for cheers.
Sick.
Learned that very quickly on the road. When they say yamas, it's not just like, cheers, we're drinking beer, let's get fucked up. It's like yamas, I see you, I'm here with you, I'm spending time with you, I'm breaking bread with you, we're here together in this moment. It just, I don't know, there's something about...
Like almost in a certain way, more like not ritualistic, but that's not the right word. But I think you know what I mean.
Absolutely.
Like a deeper celebration of the moment that is unfolding.
Exactly. And that happened day in and day out with those guys. Like
That's
it was
awesome.
and it was such like an important reminder to just like stop and just be where you are for a second. And of course, you can't ever stop on tour. There is no stopping. You're in constant motion no matter what you're doing. Literally, even if you're sleeping because you're driving. But it was just a very cool, like subtle, like, hey, we're out here doing this together, and I see you, you know, which was very awesome. But Orestes, man, he is. If there were anyone who truly lives and breathes heavy metal, and like practicing the occult and really bringing it into his live performance, it's that guy. You know what I mean? So like all that to say, had some crazy fucking times with him. My man likes to drink, you know, so we were usually the last couple up on the bus, nightly, you know. He would usually pass out just like at the table, you know, or on the couch or whatever.
I'm living through you so
Dude.
fucking vicariously right now, dude.
There was one night where it was me, Orestes, and Eric Hoffman. Shout out to Eric.
Eric was good, baby.
On the bus, and it was just it was a tying one on type of night. And, you know, like everyone like kind of starts tying one on, and then like people start filtering back to bed, and then pretty soon it's just us three. And we were on some sad boy shit that night, and
like you do.
Eric was showing Orestes like country songs. Mm-hmm. Like singing about home and family and like all these things. And Orestes hadn't quite maybe heard this artist before, and Eric, please get me right on this, I can't remember the artist's name, but the song was extremely heartfelt, talking about like literally being home on the prairie and like seeing the sunrise over the farm and like just being where you're supposed to be and like feeling whole, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And when I tell you, Orestes was just bawling.
Yeah.
He spoke English, or he speaks, you know, kind of broken, decent English, like good enough, but so he wasn't quite like interpreting the lyrics, but he felt it. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And we just had a moment, like we were crying.
Yeah.
We were fucking hammered, but we were crying.
Good.
And it was such a moment because Orestes was like, he said, I don't quite understand, but I feel it. Yeah. And then it was, you know, we just like, oh my God. And then we just, you know, drank like 4 more beers and then went to bed. You know? there was a lot of that on this tour. There was a lot of like really heartfelt moments like that between members, you know, kind of like not necessarily privately, but like, you know, 2 or 3 of us at a time. You know, I was actually able to catch a really special moment between Jim Mutilator, the bass player for Yotheria, mm-hmm. Original member of Riding Christ as well.
Shit.
A moment between him and Adam on the last night. Yoth was playing, and I'll post it eventually. But Yoth is on stage doing their thing, and Jim walks over to Adam. Adam's like crowd right on the stage, just fucking windmilling. You know what I mean? Like we just finished our set last night of tour. Like fuck it, he's gonna let loose now. And Jim walks over to Adam, and they headbang together for a solid like 30 seconds. And it's just them two like giving it, and then they stop headbanging at the same time. It's the end of that riff. They're transitioning into the next part of the song. They like fist bump. It's such a special moment, just because like Jim is such an elder in the scene. You know what I mean? And this was our first European tour, so I felt like it was a moment of like paying respect, paying dues. Like holy shit, we did it. You know, it was very cool. So. There was that. I'm trying to think what else.
I'm fucking riveted right now, dude.
Like, oh my God.
I'm like,
There were just, honestly, this tour, like, less crazy party moments and more just, like, real emotional bonding moments, you know? Yeah. Even though, you know, we were all drinking a shit ton, there was still, like, a really, like, good conversation and which was cool because it was a group of Americans, Greeks, and Germans, you know, and we all, you know, it took a little bit, like the first few days, you know, we're kind of figuring out like social stuff, interactions, how people like, you know, do things, you know, we're all very different people, but I feel like after day like 3 or 4, we all just kind of had an understanding of how we all worked, and then from then on out, it was pretty smooth, you
That's
know?
Awesome.
Which is cool because we all come from such different backgrounds.
Yeah.
And even our bus driver, John, oh my God. If you know, you know about John. We love John. He's also one of the most interesting people I've ever met in my life. The man drove Motorhead for 7 years.
Oh, shit.
Shit.
He drove Ozzy a few times. He's got stories out the fucking ass. Ex-British military, like, tough dude. Very opinionated, very loud, very brash. But that's fine.
That's
you know?
fine.
My God, that dude. Oh, and very, very adamant that he said, I'm a Celt, not a Brit. Learned that on, like, day 1.
Cool.
You know?
Okay.
The moments I had with that guy were also quite awesome. Just on his, like, oh man, just on who he is as a person. Like, kind of got off on the wrong foot, like, you know, initially. But again, like, moments after that, we sat down and had a conversation, and we were like, oh, this is
fun. This is great.
It's awesome. And then, like, from then on out, we were like best buds.
That's awesome.
But he would invite me up to the front of the bus a lot just to, like, see what was going on, you know? And when we were driving through Berlin, he took us the scenic route because we had a weird day in Berlin. We weren't allowed to park the bus at the venue. So John's company is Berlin Rock Coaches, and their HQ is like a 25 minute drive through the city from the venue. So we had to do this really crazy thing where we, like, dropped the trailer at the venue, unloaded into the venue, and then like manually, like with like 12 of us, put the trailer like out of the alleyway, and then we had to go park the bus at the Berlin Rock Coaches HQ, which is like 25 minutes away. Yeah. So once we dropped the trailer, he took us the scenic route through Berlin, and he gave us like a whole fucking history lesson and like showed us parts of the wall, and like it was just incredible getting to like power around with him like that. Also, we had a couple ferry rides, and he called a few of us up to the front when we were getting off the ferry, like when we were like pulling in to get off the ferry, and like watching the door open of the boat. I felt like I was in Star Wars. You know what I mean? Like I felt like I was on a Star Destroyer, and the fucking doors opening, and like
this shit is really happening to me right now.
Incredible. and then it opens, and then you're still like, I don't know, 100 yards away from where you're actually gonna like park.
Right.
So it just feels like you're driving the boat, because all you see is water, and like just shit that I would have never seen before.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Stuff that you just view. There's no analog for anything else that you've done ever like that.
Yeah.
And I don't know about you, but like I said, at least so far, my one experience doing a tour over the pond was just reflecting on how few people from the total global populace get to do stuff like that, man. It's just not that many.
Nah, man.
Fascinating to me.
What would you say? So I've heard and I've experienced myself this, but you had mentioned cultural differences, right? And so the first thing I had, what's the word I'm looking for, experience when getting to Europe is they don't, I'm not even going to say they, as you move around countries, as an American, I felt that our sense of comedy or joking around is way more than everybody else's over there.
Can confirm.
Yeah.
Oh my God,
to the point where I felt that I had to dial it back, otherwise people thought I was a fucking cartoon character.
Literally, oh my God. I have a funny story about that exact thing. Again, with John, and then our tour manager, Ola, who is also one of the guitar players for Nail to Obscurity.
Oh, sweet.
German.
Oh, okay.
Who's German, right? Now, okay, Caden, shout out to Caden. Caden saw this interaction and has told us the story a few times. So if I butcher this a little bit, just please, get me right. But about like the comedy thing. So I feel like John's sense of humor is probably more akin to like what ours would be as Americans, just like
Sarcasm
loud and
stuff.
sarcastic and very like, no, dummy, whereas, Ola's sense of humor is just not that. I think Ola asked John what the code to the bus was. Ola was like, "What's the year of that the bus code is, or something like that?" Ola didn't know what the bus code was. It was 1974, right? And he like asked John something, and John was like, "No, the year is 2025. The bus code is 1974, or something." And Ola goes, "Yeah, okay." Which like needs more context,
But
basically, John was making a joke.
Yeah.
He was like, "No, dummy, the year is 2025. The code to the bus is 1974." And Ola just didn't get it.
Yeah.
It didn't land.
It just whoop. Anyway.
Yeah, I felt like, like just joking around, like I had to completely curb all sarcasm, all sarcasm. Because it's a very literal sense of comedy and sense of humor over there,
right?
So we're joking about things very literally, and it's funny, and that's great. But like, fucking somebody's an idiot. That was dumb, and they're just like, huh?
Yeah, they're like, oh, okay.
Yeah, okay.
I do not understand you.
And what is the next part of the story?
Yeah. Please continue.
So I imagine you ran into quite a bit of that at
dude.
first, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely did.
The which is funny because on a person by person basis, like you said, how it was a little bit more like American style humor with John the Bus Driver. One of the bands that was on the Heidenfest tour was a band called Twilight of the Gods, and what was it? It was a tribute to a black metal band, and Nick Barker was the drummer.
Oh, God.
And he was regaling everybody with a tale. Kyle's been listening to this for 100 years. He was regaling everybody with a tale about how in another band, Nick Barker was on tour with this band, and they were like, just like the kind of actions on a tour where like there's no good reason to act this way to the other bands on the package. Like, no one could eat dinner before them. Like, no one could use the shower before them. And it's just an ego thing. There's no actual good reason to treat people that way. And so Nick Barker just like regaling the story about how pissed off he was, and at one point was saying to the group of people who he was telling the story to, and then I just ended up saying, if anybody needs me, I'll be in the shower eating my dinner. And just like, I don't know, you're getting to hear Nick Barker tell a story, but it was a little bit more of that like American, or maybe it's not appropriate to call it American as though America's cornered the market on that style of humor.
Right.
It was more just like the big boisterous, those kinds of jokes would land. Talking to him.
It's a noticeable cultural difference as soon as you get there.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
As soon as you're off the plane or whatever, you're just like, oh, okay, this is we are in a different country now.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Right.
Did you run into anybody? Because Paul can attest to this too. Did anybody give you grief or look down on you for being an American?
I wasn't sure if I should bring it up.
Not necessarily that I noticed on this tour. However, on the Emasculator tour in May, there was definitely a bit more of that.
Sure.
Speak on that, because I'm okay.
And so some of it was maybe just purely cultural differences, and we do things differently. Like we get to the same destination, like in different ways, sort of thing, and we worked through it. Other times there was absolutely some of like, oh, you're from America, okay, sick. What do you want? Like the tone just changed. And a lot of that was like first the language barrier, like. I feel like in the more Eastern European countries is where we ran into this on the EMASC tour, but. And again, it wasn't like a lot. It wasn't every day by any means, but there were like maybe 2 or 3 instances where like I felt like once they realized I couldn't speak the language, they were like, "Oh, great," and then they put 2 and 2 together and maybe just realized where I was from, and then the tone changed even more so, and they basically were like, "Get the fuck out of my face."
And then it was different.
And then it's different. Yeah. And like, I don't know. I want to say I understand it. But at the same time, it's just kind of hard to.
It's unfortunate because, like, people like us, we're not giving folks from other countries that impression of ourselves, right? They see what is either on television or like our shitty politicians,
and that's just it. It's a generalization of all Americans, right? And like that's what I understand. I guess is like. If that's all you're seeing on your algorithm, your news, your TVs, your whatever, then obviously that's going to shape the way you feel about Americans in general. And it doesn't matter what any of us look like. We're from America. It doesn't matter if we're from Texas or New York or Colorado or Washington State. Like we're all Americans to them. They don't see the distinctions.
Right. That's right.
So through that lens, like, I get it. America's fucking up right now. You know what I mean? Like we're not leading a good example at the moment.
I think it's unfortunate because, like I said,
but it does suck.
Because how do I say this? We go to different countries and we're obviously not politicians. We're not bankers who are fucking up the world and stuff like that. And we don't want people to think of us as that, because we're not.
Right.
But it's just super unfortunate. This is the only year. I shouldn't say the only. This is the first year that I have openly noticed that. Even in North America, playing Canada, where people are like, "Yo, what the fuck is up with America?"
Dude,
Right.
our good buddies.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
Oh no, it was just our good buddies in a band called Among the Rest. Good friends of ours up in Windsor, Ontario.
Yeah.
And even they were like, y'all.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Yeah,
buddy?
I was about to say
Yeah.
we don't go nuts talking about politics and stuff.
Yeah.
But when it affects the experience you're having in another country.
Yeah.
For nothing
sure.
that we wanted or that we done. That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
I feel that's unfortunate.
I will say, to all that said, there were infinitely more times where I spoke with Europeans on both tours or all three visits that, we started the conversation and they had a, general idea of what they thought all Americans thought. And then they talked to people like us. And then they're like, oh, thank God.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean? Which happened a lot. That happened in Spain. That happened in Germany for me on both proper 3-week tours, May and this month. I feel like in not the Netherlands, Switzerland.
Yes.
On the Emasculator tour, I talked at length with a couple locals there and we had very similar conversations where they were like, "Wait a minute, you're not like that." And I was like, "Yeah, dude, so many of us are not."
Are not.
You know, like I would
Surprise.
venture to say the majority of us are not. Like the group that's actually nuts is like, maybe this big compared to the rest of the nation.
But they just have a big bullhorn.
They just have,
dude.
they have a big megaphone, and it's just, messing things up for everybody. So I will say that there was still a lot of really good conversation with folks over there about all that.
Yeah, but an opportunity on a personal level to kind of set the record straight, like all Americans are not like this.
Yeah.
I have to speak on this, dude. And the crazy part about it is, you would understand it obviously, with like just the world at large right now, the way things are right now, and politicians and people in power right now. But dude, I was over the pond in 2010, like well before any mania. And one of the bands on the package was a band called Heidevolk.
Hey,
Yeah,
I'm familiar.
And shout to Heidevolk.
Hey.
And the drummer Joost from Heidevolk. This motherfucker gonna walk up to me
Go off, King.
with two ravishingly gorgeous German women.
Okay.
They look like they were assembled in a fucking factory. And just like in two of the most beautifully assembled human beings on a cellular level that I had ever laid eyes upon. And Joost, we get to talking. And then he decides he's had enough of my presence. And he says, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't make the introduction. This is my buddy Paul. He's from America.
Oh, no.
Both their faces visibly. 2010, guys. 2010. And then one of these women says to me, Americans, they'll believe anything you tell them. 2010, dude.
Yeah.
And then the tour ends, and I come home, and I get on my computer to see what's happening in the news, and what they were passing off as news was that Heidi Klum had left Victoria's Secret. Yeah. And I was like, oh, they keep us in a bubble. Yeah. Like, it doesn't matter who you are, they deliberately and consciously keep us in a bubble. Just holy shit. So it was... my country of origin was used as a cock block, dude. Like,
oh wow,
that 15
years ago.
Yeah,
almost
buddy.
16 years ago.
Yeah, bro.
Wow.
So it isn't just related to feelings about Americans in the current era. Apparently, that's
in
been going on for a while.
In general.
Well, so speaking of cultural differences, though, a lot of musicians who probably make up the majority of people who are watching our show, when they play shows or tour here in the United States, they're used to showing up and getting the typical American setup at the shows, right? Which means you're going to probably get yelled at by somebody to move your stuff in as fast as possible, and then get the fuck out, and you're probably going to Subway and eating something awful.
Yeah, here's your 2 drink tickets, per band, and here's fucking $50 for your meal buyout. Good luck.
Have a good time. Why don't you enlighten us on what it's like playing in Europe and beyond, and how they treat the musicians over there?
So,
We're all gonna live vicariously through you.
Oh, dude.
Okay. So we got into town anywhere between like 8 and 10 in the morning on this last run. Everyone's kind of waking up, getting off the bus about 11 or noon. And then the managers go in, get the skinny, and then let us know like where dressing rooms are, where catering is, blah, 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 blah. And then at 1, we all load in. And then after everything's loaded in, us being the openers, we had a good amount of time to fuck off. So what we were able to do, every single show, like all 18 venues, had catering for us upon walking in the door. Coffee, tea, water, beers, non-alcoholic beers, like meats, cheeses, veggies, fruits, cereals, whatever. Quite a few vegans on this tour as well. Excuse me? Wow.
In case you were wondering.
Wow. Okay. Thank you.
Did we just get a news update from your, like a weather update from your phone?
From my British Siri. I don't want to say it too loud. Anyway, weird. So anyway, quite a bit of vegans on this tour as well, and so they all had plenty of options. So just across the board, everyone was taken care of.
So
and then
feed you.
yeah, not only
Like
that,
a human being.
no, hang on. That was just catering.
Oh.
Like when you get in.
Oh, it gets better.
That was just get-in food, which is different than dinner. You know what I'm saying? So we had all the get-in food, and it's there for 3-4 hours until dinner. They come in, they clean all that out, and then they serve you dinner. Ideally before doors. Sometimes it came after doors. Wow. But you got a hot dinner every night. Now
and it was hot.
And it was hot. Yeah, and it varied country to country, night to night what we got for hot dinner. Yeah. But we had a hot dinner every single night.
Wow.
It is a powerful we're so like inert. We're so again just under this weird dome where you just assume this is just what life is like, and then you actually go somewhere else and you're shown that it can be different, dude. Mm-hmm. Go
pick me. If you
yes, Sierra, you'd like to say something.
If there's one thing that anybody watching this takes from this interview from me, let it be this. If you are an American citizen, the best thing you can do for yourself is get out of America for a little bit. Yep. Like, obviously, that's a privilege. It's money, and, like, all those things are super tight right now. I get it. But start saving anything you can. If all you have are, like, pennies, just start saving. Put some stuff away. Save enough for a plane ticket. Save enough for, like, 4 or 5 days in some European country of your choice. Mm-hmm. And just go there. Because we have no idea.
It's eye opening.
It's so eye opening. Like what we're taught
that we're in.
As little American kids, what we're taught about the rest of the world vastly is not true.
Yeah.
Some things are true. Most things are not.
But much the same way as you got to have those conversations where you reordered their understanding of what Americans are like. What it does for your mind and your perspective.
I swear to God. The literally the best things that have happened to me this year were the fact that I got to get out of this place for days at a time and just go experience other countries and other people, because it'll change your life. It'll even if you're just going to check out restaurants or go to a metal festival, which is the first time I left the country was for a metal fest. I went to Norway for Midgardsblot. And even just going to Norway for 5 days altered my entire perception of everything. Yeah, you know what I mean?
You're never the same.
You never.
It doesn't have to be like this.
It doesn't, you guys. And that's just it, man. It doesn't. And on some of that shit, we were in, where were we? Was it Stockholm? No, it wasn't Stockholm. Oh my God.
Did you do? Was Scandinavia part of the run?
We did Stockholm and Gothenburg.
No shit.
Yes.
I didn't get to go. I didn't get to go to any of the Scandinavian countries.
It was very rainy.
Right.
Very dark and rainy. Sun was down by 3 p.m. But I can't remember where we were. Netherlands, maybe? I think it was the Netherlands. We got a fair amount of exploring in. While we were there, we went to go check out a castle. I can't remember whose castle, but we got to walk around in the garden.
Dude, after a certain point, you're a little bit like, another gorgeous 400-year-old castle.
I swear to God, they're everywhere.
I'm a little full.
They're everywhere, So we went to go check out a castle, and we were walking, and there were so many people riding pedal bikes. But the thing that's different is that, so you have the sidewalk, and then you have a proper large lane that's big enough for like the three of us plus another person can ride like in a line this way and have enough space to like be safe. And so many people were riding bikes.
Oh man.
You know what I mean? And it's just crazy because we were like, if the place where you live provides things for you, the people will use them.
Yeah.
And then you save on emissions. You save on all the bullshit that cars bring into the mix. You save on money. It doesn't take me any amount of money to ride my bike.
That's right.
But like, you know, like the infrastructure was that everywhere we went, the infrastructure
in
was
Holland,
insane.
in the Netherlands.
Yeah.
I think so. I'm pretty sure.
I almost got destroyed when I was in Amsterdam in the Netherlands because of the bikes. And I wasn't, being an American, I just wasn't aware of the bike. What would it be? Traffic and laws and stuff like
Sure.
that.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
I'm
And
just
it is different.
It's
Yeah.
way different, and they will get mad at you because you just walk right out in the middle of the bike lane, and motherfuckers will run you over.
Oh, yeah.
And like slap you in the face.
There were so many times where we were like, "Oh shit, we're in the bike lane right
Yeah,
now," and we can't
yeah,
even tell
you
because
don't-
it like
you
looks
didn't
like the
know.
sidewalk. We figured it out eventually, but like a couple times we were like, "Oh, we are in the road right now."
Yeah.
Shit.
Right.
Because there's so much room. You're just like, this is a big ass sidewalk, but like, no, it's literally for people to ride bikes, and so many people were riding bikes. Yeah.
That was what I remembered from the Netherlands, is there was more bikes than people.
And we're like, dude, this is sick. Like, this is amazing. Anyway, yeah.
Was there a particular country of all your travels this last year that you enjoyed the most?
England.
England.
Yes.
Why?
I have been obsessed with the UK for quite some time now. And just getting to go there on the Emasculator tour. We did 3 shows in England. We did Bristol, Manchester, and London. And those are my 3 favorite of that whole run. It just felt, I don't know, it was my first time there, but it felt very familiar. And I mean, England's like, if there were any other place in the world that's similar to any given place in the U.S., I feel like England's probably that, you know, in just terms of almost everything. Other than the traffic, of course. But it just, I don't know, it felt like home.
Yeah.
You know? And that was just really cool. Like, more so than anywhere else. I will say on this last tour, all the German dates kind of felt more like home on this last run, more so than the one in May. Especially when we came back to Germany from Sweden. And that was mostly due to, like, just the way the 2 shows in Sweden went for us.
Right.
Those are 2 of the roughest, for sure. And just, like, the vibes in general were just kind of weird, like the venue that we played. The second show in Sweden was interesting. So when we got back across the water and, like, came back into Germany, we were like, it kind of felt like coming home. You know what I mean? So it changes. But, yeah, England for sure. And I, like, can't wait to do more of the UK in general.
Okay.
You know?
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I guess I'm not going to say surprised that you say England, but generally when I ask people that question, I get a lot of Germany.
Yeah.
You know, I hear a lot of Italy, Spain, that kind of
I think Germany's probably a close second. Just because, like, both tours, most of the shows were in Germany. Like, I feel like that's always the case. Like, most European tours are...
I'm over 50% of the shows were Germany shows.
Yeah. So,
Germany
like,
and Austria.
I feel like I'm just more familiar with Germany than any other country that I've been to. Simply because I've been there more.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think, England, man.
Did you play in Paris on any of these runs? Did you?
On the Oat tour we did.
Okay. Not that I even remember the name of the venue, but the reason why I'm asking is because I never saw this before in my life.
Okay.
And it was, again, on the tour, there were techs, so I did not have to load the stuff in.
Right.
Do you know what I'm going to say? Was the venue where dudes were literally lifting cabinets and stuff up stone steps?
No, not for us.
No elevator. Like, no.
So, no, when we played Paris, we played the venue that we did was right next to the Moulin Rouge.
Okay.
And I don't remember the name of it. But it was like a restaurant in the front, venue was in the back.
Got it.
So it was very much just like a flat push to the stage, and then there was like 3 or 4 small steps from like where front of house was to where the crowd is. So we just had a ramp, and we just did it there. And you know, none of the bands on the Oat tour had cabs at all. We all had like racks or went DI. So, you know,
That's like
that was
the
that.
lightest tour out there. Like
Right.
Everybody's
And I
touring
mean,
with modelers and stuff.
Yeah. Nailed had a good bit of stuff. They had a whole lighting pack, and they had their own soundboard. So they definitely had. We had road cases for sure.
You can bring more of that stuff when
Right.
you're not
Exactly.
filled with
Yeah,
amps
but
and
it
cabs
was
and-
mostly racks and lighting stuff for sure, and then like drums obviously. But on the Emasculator tour, stairs everywhere.
Fuck.
Not a single and like whatever. Like
It is
it
what it
wasn't bad
is.
for
Yeah.
me, like. But I remember many times being like, "Holy fuck, we have to go down. First of all, we got to go down 4 flights of stairs to get to the venue." So we're like, how many feet below ground? And like cell phones don't work
playing
and
in a
fucking
catacomb.
yeah, literally.
Right.
And oh my god, where was it? Austria, the Viper Room. Is that right? Is the Viper Room in Austria?
I mean, I'm familiar with Viper Room in California.
Right, I
but
know there's one here
yeah.
too. Yeah. But like the Viper Room, Viper something, yeah.
Right.
In Austria,
Right.
hella stairs, but like probably the best set of stairs of the whole tour. Like I don't know, they're just wide, very wide staircases, and it was almost like you're on a ship.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like big grand staircases, and there was like 3 of them just going down. Like you think you can't go below ground any further, and then there's another set of 20 stairs. So we just got to the point on that tour where we were like, we got our merch boxes down by like sliding them down the stairs. We had a person to receive the box on every level, and otherwise we just like very evenly
shove
sent
them
it
down,
and
dude.
only like 1 or 2 boxes flipped and like threw a couple shirts out, but every other box just right down, and it
It's funny. That's the mental picture I had in my head is like just shoving the boxes down. They get almost to the bottom, and it's just
right. No,
T-shirts
only
exploding
like
everywhere.
2 boxes flipped, but they're they're taped shut and shit, so like it was okay.
Oh,
Yeah,
perfect.
But-
those are good odds, dude. Like,
Yeah. We're like,
so,
why
dude.
I'll
like
take
why are we
those.
doing this? Yeah. And then that tour also, I don't think. Did we have any cabs on that tour? I don't think we did.
The No Cabs tour.
I think I don't remember. That tour's real fuzzy at this point. The one
Yeah,
in May.
I expect even now
But,
they probably all run together.
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah. But
Do you recall eating at any restaurant in Prague? And the reason I ask is because we had dinner one night at a subterranean Atlantis-themed restaurant
Oh my God.
in Prague.
Stop.
And there's like mermaids on the wall and shit. And it was under the street. It was.
no.
Yeah.
No,
I have no idea whether or not that business is still there.
The only place I remember, so there's 2 places I remember in Prague. One of them was this like really quaint, almost like country-looking store, had like deer antlers on the wall
There you go.
and like a checkerboard tablecloth and like rolls in a nice little Easter-looking basket.
Oh, that's
and like
awesome.
glasses and candles everywhere. Like like we ate at one of those places, and then the only other place I remember is the Horror Bar in Prague, which Malika's husband, the singer for Emasculator, they own that place.
Oh, no shit.
So yeah, if you ever go to the Horror Bar, shout out.
Dude, that sounds like my fucking place.
Dude, it's incredible. It's like the sickest place in Prague, I swear to God. And that's saying a lot because there's like a lot of cool shit in Prague.
Right. Yeah, Prague was cool as fuck.
But yeah, we spent a good amount of time there. Night before the tour started, all the bands went, had drinks. And they got like horror movies playing on all these different TVs in different rooms, and like there's like a Freddy statue in one corner and a Michael Myers statue in another corner, and they got like a whole fucking
Kidding me right now?
dude. Yeah, it's incredible. yeah.
Horror movie.
But
love.
again, you got to go downstairs to get to it.
Gotta go downstairs to
And,
get to
like,
it, dude.
oh, man. I don't mind it. It's kind of cool. It does get tiring after a while.
So
And
many
after a while,
steps.
like the American in you will be like, these motherfuckers just had one elevator.
Just give me, where's one fucking escalator or elevator at right now,
Something,
dude?
dude.
You know,
know,
we talked about the cultural differences, right?
Uh-huh.
And how there's definitely pluses to going across the pond and
Mm-hmm.
outside of our country, but there are also things that when you come back to America that you have a
You're like, oh
greater
my God.
respect for.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah,
like sewer systems.
Instant reaction.
Am I right? Am I right? Right? We're very, very lucky to be able to take our shitty toilet paper
Oh my
and put it in a
God.
fucking toilet where we never have to see it again. Whereas in most, are you ready for this, folks? Most places in the world, that does not happen. That just does not happen. You are taking your shitty shit and you're putting it in another container filled with other people's shitty shit, and then somebody comes by and picks up that shitty shit and takes it and puts it in another container with a bunch of other shitty shit.
Dude, I took a shit once in France into this, like, it was like a repository for it, but it was like dry. It was dry.
Okay.
And I just looked down and was like, what have
shit.
I done?
Holy shit.
I can only imagine. Stop me if I'm wrong, but being a female, I can only imagine that's got to be one of the toughest things for you on tour.
The amount of times I had to squat.
Bro.
Because I can't sit on this. You know
Right.
what I mean? Like, I don't know what they expect from me, but I can't. I cannot do it. You know what I'm saying? Again, fine. I know I'm not at home. I know there's going to be
Like, you can
hurdles to get
reconcile
over.
it, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But some of these fucking bathrooms.
You just had to do, like, martial arts horse stance.
Literally. Yeah. So, and then the other fucking thing, shout out to Caden again, because we talked at length about this while we were out in Europe just a week ago, was the amount of toilets in Europe that have a poop shelf.
You're gonna have
There's
to.
a poop
You
shelf.
got to explain it to people.
So, you know how our toilets, it's a bowl.
It's a bowl.
Yeah.
There's no other platforms in there. It's just a bowl and a seat.
Platforms.
There were
Shelf.
at least 5 venues, at least on this run, where the toilets had like a plateau right under your butt. And then, you know, the bowl part was more of like a long drain.
Right.
In the front.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So if you're a female and you're peeing, no big deal. If you're anybody else and you're taking a shit, it doesn't go down
The math.
the
doesn't
drain
math.
first. It goes onto the shelf first.
And you have to just look
And then
at it.
and then the flushing system might be a fucking button that's like over here,
cord
or a
above your
fucking
head.
cord
Right.
over here, or like so we played in Bologna, Italy. It was
Oh,
the
I
only
love
fest.
Bologna.
It was the
Okay.
only fest. Man, I'm not gonna lie to you. That was a rough night. That was a rough night.
Oh, that was going to be my next segue because I'm glad that you said that.
Oh
Because
my God.
my next one was we talk about all the good stuff. We like to give people the glossy, shiny stuff on the show.
Yeah.
But we need to hear about the muddy, the dirty stuff too. So
bro.
I wanted to ask you what's one of the worst nights or one of the worst shows you had on tour
Oh.
because it can't all be unicorns and rainbows.
Okay, I will tell you about the worst night we had, and like, do I want to speak about it publicly? No, mostly because I'm embarrassed, but we'll get there. So we're playing in Bologna, and this was the first instance where we had the poop shelf toilet, and we were just like, what on earth do you want me to do with this? So there were some ground rules for this tour, and I hope that like for most tours, it's the same, and that's obviously
No poo on the bus.
no poo on the bus,
Not on
no
the
number
bus.
2 on the bus, no toilet paper on the bus either. Like, you know, put the toilet. You can use toilet paper, put it in the trash can.
Right.
Right.
Don't flush it. Other than that, just urine. You know, not a big deal. So no pooping on the bus, no pooping in the backstage bathroom either. And that's just on keeping the backstage nice and fresh for everybody.
Sure.
Again, do whatever else in there. Just don't shit in the backstage because you know it's just gonna. It's just gonna So the rule was if you have to shit, use the public bathrooms in the venue or just go somewhere else out in public to do that, which not a huge deal.
Sure.
The restroom in Bologna had a poop shelf, but then also it had this like the way you flush the toilet was very unclear. It was so there's like a button on the wall over here, and for some reason it reminded me of the Death Star when it's like being rebuilt. It was like a circle, and it had a bunch of like crater looking things in it, and there were 3 buttons on the inside. And that I learned like there's a piece missing. Obviously, there should be like a rubber button that encases all of that you just push.
How would
and
you
then it
know
flushes
that?
the toilet. I don't know. I just started pushing buttons. You know what I mean? I'm like, and it's funny. Okay.
You're like the kid on the elevator.
Like,
Let's get this done.
yeah. So I'm like, okay, that does a thing, but there's also a shower head right here, and I really hope that's not how I flushed. Like, how am I? What is this for?
Yeah, what even
You know
is
what I
this?
mean?
Like,
And it's funny because Kostas, one of the guitar players for Yatheria, used the restroom right before me, and I'm like waiting in line, you know, and I hear a shower head turn on. And I was like, okay, maybe he's hopping in the shower. Maybe this is where the showers are. Maybe he's just getting that done real quick. Maybe I'll come back, whatever. it only lasted like 7 seconds, and then he shut it off, and I'm like, okay. And he comes out looking very confused, and is like, and then just walks away, and then I'm like, oh God, okay. So I walk in, and I see the shower head, and I see this fucking weird button thing over here, and I'm just like, all right, fucking good luck to me. I'm just gonna figure this out, I guess. Meanwhile, and I don't think he did this, but like floor is soaking wet.
Sure.
Sink is disgusting. Fucking, So I was like, all right. And then I looked, once I got past all that, I look in the bowl, and then there's the shelf, and I was like, maybe that's what the shower head's for.
You did wash
just pressure wash that down. And then not only that, and this might be TMI, I'm sorry, I really need to paint this picture for y'all. But this toilet had the shelf, and then, the drop where the actual like bowl water was so far away. So far away.
So you get the splashback.
Fuck.
Got that splashback. Mm-hmm. And anybody who knows physics,
disgusting.
Equal, what is it? Equal, I just fucked this all up.
I know what you're saying.
Equal momentum is going to get equal splashback, basically.
Like, demoralizing as this was already, I've now done that.
Well, homie, you brought up the shower thing around the toilet. I've got a good one for you. My first time in Amsterdam, okay? We get to the hostel, and I'm like, I'm going to shit my fucking brains out. So I get into the bathroom. I just see a toilet. It's fully surrounded by what looks like a shower, right? It's a toilet inside of a shower, inside of a bathroom. That's paint the picture.
Okay.
So go whatever. Do my thing. Like you, looking around. I'm feeling like Sylvester Stallone in fucking Demolition Man. I'm like, where are the 3 seashells, right? And so I'm looking around here, and there's 2 buttons, and then there's 2 cables in front of me. And hanging from the
red
thing,
pill
and
or
I'm
blue
like,
pill?
okay, well, that's weird. So I push the button, nothing happens. I push the other button, nothing happens. I pull the first string, nothing happens. I pull the second string, shower over my head, dude. Shower, I didn't know it, but the shower is directly above my head and just went off, dude. Cold water, I'm in my full clothes, sitting on a toilet. And I walk out the door, my sister's standing there, and she's like, what the fuck happened to you? I'm just like, I don't even know.
Yeah, and it's so shocking because you're like, I don't even know what that was. Yeah. I'm gonna go.
How can I articulate this experience to another human being?
I just got out of a shower, and I need to get back in the show right now is what needs to happen.
Oh, my God.
Still couldn't figure out how to flush the fucking toilet.
We never did figure that out.
Away.
You just have to leave.
Dude. Walked away. I'm like, okay.
It's just like you just roll the dice, man. You're like, what the fuck?
Oh, man. This is great stuff.
Oh, man. It's all like coming back to me now, Okay, but you had asked about like the worst show.
Worst show.
Now, this is going to be painful to talk about.
Bracing yourself.
Yeah, dude. So, Okash and Thorn's been a band for, help me do math, 13 years? 2012. Is that right?
That's 13 million years. Yes.
13 million. Okay, cool. Been a band a long time.
Yeah.
We've been through some shit. Yeah. Okay? There is one thing that the band has never done. One thing that I've never done. That happened in Gothenburg. Second show in Sweden. We did Stockholm first, and then we did Gothenburg, and then we came back to Germany. So let me preface this by saying that day in Gothenburg was one of the most frustrating of the whole tour, just in general, because the bus got stuck in the morning.
Fuck.
Like in the snow.
Like in the wet grass.
Oh. Wow.
So this venue we were at is a like decommissioned prison. Cool. So we're on a prison ground. And John, bless that man, he got the bus and trailer into some spaces that I don't even know how he would have done it. I mean, the man's professional, okay?
I was going to say, that's a professional.
I swear to God, like, backing into spaces this fucking big with, like, whatever. So he's, we're pulling in, and he's going to do that. And he I think what he was going to do was, like, pull forward and then maybe, like, back into where we ended up being. Because, I mean, obviously, eventually we got the bus out. But he just got stuck in the grass. It's like raining, it's muddy, it's slippery, and the wheels just kept spinning. He went to go stop, and I think he was gonna reverse, and then he just like dug himself a hole. Just whatever. So we wake up that morning, and that was like one of the later nights for me. I had only been in bed about 4 hours at this point, and then Ola, our tour manager, comes up to the bunk area, and he goes, "Good morning, everybody. We need all hands outside. The bus is stuck. We need to push the bus. Please, everybody, wake up. Good morning. Hello." And I'm like, Jesus fuck. Holy shit. Okay. And I'm like just stirring in my bunk, trying to be like, God damn it. What the fuck? And then John comes upstairs because apparently none of us were moving fast enough for John. And John goes, good morning. Hands off cocks and into socks. We need all hands outside right now. We were like, fucking hell. Okay. And then pretty soon it's just madness. Everyone's like falling out of their bunks, hopping down the stairs, trying to put one shoe on, get outside.
Like, like a George Romero film.
And it was like urgent, right? So we all and then we all get dressed and we're outside and we're all just staring at this bus. It's raining. It's like, I don't know, fucking 39 degrees outside. It's very cold. And we're just like sick. So this bus is not going anywhere, buddy. And we pushed and he reversed and whatever. And that we're just digging a fucking hole in this grass, man. So that's how the day started. Once we realized we just had to get a tow, we were like, okay, everybody fuck off for a little bit, go back to bed, go get a snack, whatever. We just stayed up. We went and checked out the graveyard across the street, or the cemetery, sorry, and went and got coffee and whatever. Came back, bus is still stuck. Tow guy shows up, finally gets us towed, and then we get parked where we're supposed to be parked, and then we just fucked up this piece of grass. It was giant, oh my God. And apparently John was like, just put some roses there then. We were like, oh, yeah, sorry, dude.
Keep people from parking on it.
So we load in. So we're at this venue, and like I said, it's on a prison ground, and it's a 13-plus venue. So basically, I would just, all ages, whatever. Yeah. No booze, no bar, no BYOB, no nothing. Sober show. Different.
Yeah.
So, the vibes were what they were already. And then we learned that happened. We could drink beer on the bus, but we can't bring any beer in, and there's no beer in the venue at all. So we're like, okay. So, and I'm not saying, there has to be alcohol, but, it helps. You know what I mean? It helps the vibe. It helps the people chill. It helps, So, whatever. And then, it wasn't the best turnout. I mean, people came, but, it wasn't, it wasn't packed by any means.
Right.
And one thing we learned about certain European crowds is if they like you, they go like this.
No shit.
And that's it? They just watch you that way. Okay.
That's it. Right? And so that was another learning curve. We were like, do they fucking hate us? I don't why are we here? Why are they here? Why did you come? I don't know. Can you smile? Let me know that you're stoked, that we're stoked, and we're all nothing, And it's fine. It is what it is. Cultural differences. Yeah. We learned that very fast.
Yep.
But, so crowd's dead as hell. We're off, feeling off. Not to mention, at this point, most of the people on the bus are sick. We had a little bit of bus plague. Scratchy throat, runny nose,
18 people in a bus.
It's bound to happen. And we knew
the cruise ship effect.
I swear to God. Yeah. And we knew it was going to happen. Yeah. But at this point, it had happened. And so, we're down, we're feeling down. Adam, this was his most sick. Adam's our singer, for those that don't know. And he just kind of lost his voice. He had to growl most of the show.
Oh, no.
Which, show must go on. Sure. But, he was tripping, we were tripping. And then a handful of other things happened during the show. So, show starts okay. But as I'm going along, we're 3 songs in, and my pedals start feeling really weird. Right? And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? It felt like the head was going to break. You know when a head's about to go, it gets papery and flimsy, and right before you break through, it kind of felt like that. But that's not what was happening. What was happening was my right beater was slowly shimmering up out of its home.
It came
off. 3 songs in. So we're playing Dying Culture. And about halfway through, right before the marchy part in Dying Culture, my right beater, not even if it was my left beater,
not even the fucking left one.
If it was my left beater, it would have been no problem. But no, my main beater comes out of its home, and I just watch it happen, and I was like, fuck. So I'm still playing. And I'm like, you know how this goes. In the moment, you're like, okay, I got to adapt my left foot to play my right foot now. But holy shit, it can't do that because I
only have one foot.
Okay, how am I going to get this done? Okay, cool. So that's happening back in drum world. At the same time, Adam's mic dies. His wireless mic that he had just put batteries in dies.
Oh, shit.
Cuts out, like 100%. And then Caden's guitar was also cutting out at that same time. Like 3 separate things happened at once. And then the most unspeakable thing that I am like not proud to admit, but I'm going to admit
there's
it.
an and then?
There's an and then.
It doesn't stop there.
No. So like I said, we've been a band for a really long time. I've been drumming for a really long time. I have never once done this before in my life. But I was so panicked in that moment. Because I was like, I'm like trying to blast and like, because, you know, my blasts are like, you know, 16th on top, 8th notes on the bottom.
That's right.
And I just, you know, at the moment, my muscles aren't such that I can just single foot blast with my left foot.
On a fucking dime.
On
dude,
a dime. And, like, I could at some point, and I'm absolutely going to fucking learn how to do that now because I'm not going to get caught looking stupid again.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But I was so panicked because I'm like, this sounds like shit. Everyone's going to know. Everyone does know. Oh, my God, where are we even? What song are we playing? Where are we even? I don't even know. And then I went into the march part again because I was like, where are we? Which it wasn't. We were at the end of the song. We're not at the marching part. So I go into the marching part. We're not at the marching part. And I just blacked out and stopped playing.
Oh, really?
I mean,
I train wrecked, like for real.
the CPU can only take so much.
I swear
man.
to God, dude. But it's just like, that's like the thing that you don't fucking do. You know what I mean? Like figure it out, get to the end of the song, but don't just stop live.
Yeah, don't just stop, but you got to the end of the song and didn't know you were at the end of the song because
I really
the
didn't.
sensory information you were receiving was just so...
I've never been so stressed out before in my life. And like there were a few moments like that for me. Like I'm not gonna lie, the first 9 days of tour, really rough for me for a lot of different reasons. But like that was like the culmination of everything. You know what I mean? And I had to stop playing. And we train wrecked a song live. First time the band's ever done that. First time I've ever done that. And I was like, Jesus fucking Christ. Okay, cool, we did that. I'm going to fix my pedal really quick, and then we're going to continue. And as I bent down to fix my pedal, Adam looked at me and was like, bro, I can't sing. I was like, you know what? My pedals just fell apart. It's fine. Let's just play these last 2 songs. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
And we got off stage. Honestly, we got off stage. And, like, the crowd didn't even care. Like, we train wrecked a song, and then we played 5 others that were, like, flawless, and it was still... You know what I mean? So like,
Very, very good job. Very good job.
Yeah,
I swear to fuck. So
and
I'm
then
like,
they're talking amongst themselves.
I'm
They're like,
like,
they're very good. Yes.
you know what I mean? So I'm like,
Yes.
look, they don't even care. Yeah. Why should we? I don't know.
I'm
We got
very
off stage
yeah.
and we were all like, what?
Yeah, like, what are you
I
going
need
to do
to
with
forget
that?
about this immediately. Yeah. And then we weren't even mad. We were just like, wow, that was bad. Let's just.
And you couldn't even drink to it either.
We-
You couldn't even drink to get like rid of the memory.
0 beers.
You had to like shame walk back to the bus, thinking about
And
it the
so
whole
you could
fucking time.
we did.
immediately pound a bunch of
And
beers.
we did.
Yeah.
No, we absolutely did. And then actually, I think the boys actually went on a beer run that night and went and bought some for the bus. And then next day we got back into Germany, and that was my like, oh, we're home. Yes. After all that. And then from then on, the tour was great. But I was just like, man, wow, okay. And then we had the best show ever.
Right.
Like, we had the worst show of the band's career the whole time was Gothenburg. And then was the next night, when was Essen? Essen was, I think, 2 shows after Gothenburg, maybe. And then Essen was, like, fucking incredible.
That's awesome.
You guys were just primed, dude.
Dude,
It's
the
sometimes-
crowd was great. We played great. The energy in the room was palpable.
Mm-hmm.
Like the lowest the band's ever been and the highest the band's ever been in, like, the same 48 hours. It was absolutely insane.
Funny how that works.
Oh, my
isn't it?
God. Yeah.
Well, Cierra, this has been a blast. We unfortunately have to wrap it up because
It's all good.
we're up against our time frame here.
Yeah,
but we did not, as usual, we didn't get to talk about everything that we wanted to talk about today, did we?
Not this
No.
time.
Fuck,
So
man.
what that means is we're gonna have to have you back on.
Oh, no.
Yep. So why don't you tell everybody where they can find you at, plug your bands and stuff.
Yeah. So, Oak, Ash, and Thorn Denver on Instagram is where you can find that band. Emasculator_BDM is where you can find that band. And if you are so inclined to check out Harbored, which is a project with me, Michael Stansel, and Brandon Michael of Allegiant, that is Harbored_music. on Instagram, and then my personal Instagram is Sierra Drums. I'm
go.
Sierra Drums on everything: Threads, TikTok, Instagram, and yeah.
Hit her up.
That's
say
it.
what's
Hit me up. If you need drums done anywhere, let me know. If you need if you need a drum tech on tour, let me know. Studio, I'm here for all of it. So
all that drum stuff.
Yes.
Paul, what do we say at the end of the episode?
At the end of every episode, we say, "Glory to the order, eat it on the border, listen to fucking Vision of Disorder."
Hey.